Hello everyone, welcome to the channel Unshackling Sudokus and Puzzles. I'm Kishore and today we are featuring a disjoint little killer between triple Sudoku hybrid variant by Tenaliraman. This Sudoku was posted on the Logic Masters Germany portal, and the reason we are making a video on this today is that the Sudoku has very less finishes. Although the puzzle was posted only 2 days back, it doesn't have the usual number of finishes that it has in 2 days. Okay, so before we move on to the rules, two things quickly. If you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, please hit the subscribe button below. And if you want to solve the puzzle yourself before watching the video, do try it out from the online solving link given under the video. The rules of the Sudoku are classic rules apply. In addition to that, there are three variant rules. One is disjoint. Disjoint in the sense, so the cells in the corresponding cells in all the 3 by 3 box will have different digits. So by corresponding cells I mean all these cells. For example, if you take row 1 column 1, the corresponding cells of row 1 column 1 in all the other boxes is this. So all these cells will have different digits, and similarly row 1 column 2, the corresponding cells of those in the other boxes will also have different digits. The green cells here will also have different digits, and going on similarly row 1 column 3, the corresponding cells of those in all other boxes will also have different digits. This goes on for all these cells. So why this okay, I'll remove this cell. So this goes on for other cells as well. So you have an extra region within an extra region of sorts, right? So for 9 different cells, you will have 9 different corresponding cells in other boxes. All these cells will also have different digits. This is the disjoint rule. The next part is the little killer rule. So let me read the rule as it is. Disjoint group is cells in the same relative position with respect to a box cannot contain identical digits. Little killer, there are some arrows shown outside the grid with numbers on them. The digits in the diagonal pointed by the arrow add up to the number indicated along the arrow. Digits along the diagonal may repeat if allowed by other rules. So the clues outside denote the sum of the digits along the line pointed by the arrow, or rather the diagonal pointed by the arrow, and digits may repeat along the direction, and when you add them they sum up to the clue given. The last variant is between. There are lines shown in the grid with circles on each grid, so these are the between constraints. The digits along the line are in between the digits indicated the circles. Digits on the lines may repeat if followed by other rules. So for example, if you take this one, let's say you have a 6 here and you have a 9 maybe here, then whatever comes here on this line must be strictly between them. So it can only be 7 and 8. It cannot be 6, for example, because 6 is on the circle, or it cannot be something outside this range. For example, 2 cannot be on the line. It has to be strictly between the digits given on the circle. So having said that, we'll start this Sudoku. Seems to be a very interesting one and also tough as apparent from the number of finishers. Okay, so let me see the little killer clues. 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is not helping. 37. Okay, not helping. 25, 16 and 11. 11 is not going to help at the start. So I think these two clues are really important to us, because the between constraint is combined with the little killer constraint. There is nothing else in the grid. As you can see, this 12 clue is not going to help us, I think. Yeah. So to start the grid, okay. Before starting, there is one more little thing. In a between Sudoku variant, on the line, you can never have the digits 1 and 9. Because if you have 1 here, then this circle must have something less than 1 to make sure that the 1 comes in between that. So that is not going to be possible. And similarly for the 9, the opposite reason. You need to have something greater than 9. If you have a 9 on the line, you need to have something greater than 9 here to make sure that the 9 comes in between the line. So both 1 and 9 are never possible on the line, between line. So using that logic here, so we know that the minimum sum is going to be 1 can never be on the line. So minimum it is going to be 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3. So these add up to 10. So maximum value that can be here is 6. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Okay, the thing we have to ask ourselves here is, can we not have a 1 and satisfy the total along this direction? In between these circles, if you don't have a 1, then the minimum value, next minimum value is 2, and automatically the value along the digits will also be increased by 1. So when we assume that 1 is not in one of these circles and the 2 is the next value, so the minimum total now becomes 3, 4, 3, 4, 3, 4, 3, 4 and 3, right? You can't have 1 or 2 because 2 is the value in the circle and you will have something greater than that here. So now the minimum total becomes 7 plus 7, 14, 14 plus 3, 17. Okay, so we are getting a total above 16 in that case. So we are sure that 1 must be in one of these circles. The next digit can be anything from 4. It cannot be 2 or 3 because we know that we'll have at least 2 and 3 here. So which means that 3 cannot be on the circle. So if you have 3, then you will have a digit which is on the circle and on the line. That is not permitted. So the minimum value is going to be 4, right? I don't think even 4 is possible because if you have 4 here, then all these become strictly 2, 3, 2, 3, and when you add them you get 10, and this value needs to be 6, which is outside the indicated range. All the digits on the line must be strictly between the digits on the circle, so you also can't have a 4. So I think you can eliminate 5 for the same reason. Can we reach the total of 16 with 5? So let me have 2, 3 here, maybe 2, 4 here. 6 plus 5 is 11, and 11 plus, okay, I can have 2, 4 here, right? 2, 4, 2, 4. So 8, 6 plus 6, 12, and I can have a 3 here. Okay, this seems possible. So anything above 4 is possible inside the circle, so not helping us much really. So we know that 1 is going to be in the circles. That is the thing that we have established. Okay, so one more important thing, guys. It is making use of all the variant properties equally well. So when you have a 1 here, you eliminate the 1 from here using classic rules. This is a razor sharp reduction, guys. Really tough to see. The human brain may not see such tough reductions unless we are putting a lot of effort, lot of time also. So because of disjoint property, you also eliminate the 1 from here, right? And you, when you have the 1 here, you are eliminating the 1 from here using classic rule, and using the disjoint property, the corresponding cell in box 1. This is the corresponding cell of this cell in box 1 is this one, right? It can't have same digits. All these 9 cells, as per rules, they won't have same digits. So if you have 1 here, you can't have 1 here. So we have established that regardless of whether 1 comes in row 9 column 4 or row 6 column 1, we can't have a 1 on these two circles. That is really tremendous, which means that the minimum value next is going to be 2, and the minimum values along the line is going to be 3, 4, 3, 4, and in this box it will be 3, 4, 3, 4, and here you will have a minimum of 3, and to make sure that the 4 comes inside the line, we will have a minimum value of 5. Now let us add the total and hope that it equals 25. That will be really a tremendous breakthrough for us. So 3 plus 4 is 7, 3 plus 4 is 7, 7 plus 7, 14 plus 3, 17, 17 plus 5, 22 plus 2, 24. Okay, so we are falling one short, which means that we are having a degree of freedom of 1. So we can increase either of these digits by 1 to get the total of 25. So which means that this can be 5 or 6, and the total here is 7 in this box, so which means it can be 7 or 8. So it is either 3 plus 4 or 3 plus 5, and similarly this is 3 or 4, 3 plus 4 or 3 plus 5, and this is 2 or 3. But I don't think we can have a 3 here, right? Because if you have a 3 here, then all these cells increase in value by 1 at least, which is not possible, because we know that there is only 1 degree of freedom along this line, and if you have minimum 3 here. Okay, so I have marked 2 or 3 here, right? It can also be here, so we have not yet established that. Let us keep that here. So we only know that 2 must be in one of these cells, because if you have a 3 and the other cell must be 5, right? So we can mark that really. So this is 2, this is 5, or this is 2, this is 5. Okay, this is interesting, guys. So we know that 2 must be in one of these cells, that is established, right? Because if you have 3, all these cells increase in value by 1 and you can never have 25 total. So 2 must be in one of these cells, and you also can't increase any of these values, because if you increase any of these values, we know that 3 4 3 4 3 are the minimum values. Suppose if you have 3 5 here, then in the circle you must also increase the value of 5 by 1, right? Because the digits on the lines must be strictly between these two circles. So when you have a 5 on the line, then these two cells become 2 6 in value, which means that you are increasing the value by 2. So all the digits on the line cannot be increased in value. So this only this value in the circles can be increased in value by 1, but we know that 2 cannot be increased. So which means that you can only replace the 5 by a 6. Wow, this is a really tough deduction to see, guys. Really amazing deduction. How the Sudoku makes use of the variant properties. Superb to see. So I will again tell you once. I'll quickly remove all these because slightly difficult to follow. It may be slightly difficult to follow. So the first thing we establish is that because of the 1 cannot be in these circles. The next thing is 2 has to be surely inside these circles, because if you don't have a 2, let's say you have a 3, then the minimum values becomes, you can simply put some value. So if you add them and to enclose all these digits between the lines, you will have minimum 6. Now you add all these values. 4 plus 5 is 9, 9 plus 9 18, 18 plus 4 22, 25, and you are well exceeding the total. You are reaching 31. So it is established that 2 has to be in one of these circles. We don't know yet which circle. And now because of this 2, the minimum values in all the lines become this, right? 3 plus 4 is 7, 3 plus 4 is 7, 14 plus 7 is 20, and to enclose all these digits in between the line, the minimum value must be a 5. So now if you add all these, you'll get 24, and we can never increase the value along the line digits on the line between the circles, because if you increase them by 1, then this also increases by 1. So which means that there is only one option to us. We have to replace the 5 by a 6 to get the total of 25. Tough deduction to see, but really nice one. So now we can write the digits as such, because they are the minimum possible values and they would have to be present as such. So 2 and 6, 2 and 6. Okay. Wow, this is superb, guys. Now because of this 3-4 chain, the 16 clue is coming to life. Let us write the minimum possible candidates here. So minimum possible value will be 2 and 5, because we can't use 1, 3 and 4. 1 cannot be used on the line. So minimum is 2 and 5. And similarly in this box, minimum is 2 and 5. The minimum here is 2. Now if you add all these cells, 2 plus 5 is 7, 2 plus 5 is 7, 14 plus 2 is 16, and you get the 16 clue. Superb. Superb. So this is going to be a 2, and these values will be 2, 5, right? So I think all these clues will also work on the same line, getting the minimum possible values along these lines. So let us see. Because there is very little information in the grid, so I think the idea has to be this way. Okay, so using disjoint property, if you have a 2 here, the corresponding cell here must be a 5, right? And this must be a 2, which is not possible, right? So I'll tell you why. Suppose if this cell is 2, then this would be a 5, and using disjoint property the corresponding cell cannot have the same digit in the other boxes, so this cannot be a 2, this will be a 5, and this will be a 2. Now what happens is that both of these 2's remove the 2 using classic rule from these circles. Wow, just wow, deductions guys, superb deduction. So this cannot be a 2, so this would be a 5, this would be a 2, and now 5 cannot be in the corresponding cell in this box, so this will be a 2 and this will be a 5. Superb. So now I think we can write the possibilities for 11. 11 cannot be 2 plus 9, 11 cannot be 5 plus 6, right? 5 plus 6 is not possible, so it is either 3, 8, 3 plus 8 or 4 plus 7. I don't think that can be eliminated for now. So let us continue the puzzle. So maybe this line should help us now, but I'm not sure, but there are too many values, too many cells along the line. Maybe the 25 clue. Okay, I don't think the 24 should help us, 25 should help us. Let us look at this 37 total. So what are the minimum value in these 4 cells? Okay, right. So if you have a 3 here, this becomes a 4, right? The corresponding cell in that box. And similarly, if you have a 4 here, the corresponding cell becomes 3. So both of these cells can't contain 3, 4 because we have already 3, 4 in those cells in the corresponding in boxes 4 and 8. So which means that any of those two cells cannot take 3, 4 anywhere else. So the minimum value is going to be 1 plus 5, 1 plus 5, because 2 is also ruled out, and similarly here you also rule out 2 and 3 and 4, so 1 plus 5, 1 plus 5, because 3 4 is occupied already in these boxes, so 3 4 can't be here and 3 4 can't be here, and similarly 3 4 can't be here and 3 4 can't be here. So 1 plus 5 is 6, 1 plus 5 is 6, which is 12 total, and you will get 25 from here. That seems a lot. Oh, this is good, guys. So we already established that one of these cells will contain 1, right? Either row 6 column 1 or the corresponding cell row 9 column 4, which means that these two cells can't contain 1, right? Because if you, let's say if you have a 1 here, then you are forcing the 1 of this circle to here, and now both of these values contain 1, they can't contain the same digits as per rules, so which means that 1 is not going to be in these circles, and 2 and 3 are also ruled out due to classic rule. So the minimum value is going to be a 4 or 4 in this cell, it can be either of these cells, and the minimum 2 digits are going to be 5 is ruled out from the lines, 5 cannot be here and 5 cannot be here, classic rule. So the minimum value is going to be 6 and 7, and the other one has to be 8, right? Now let us total them. 12, we already have 12 from these two boxes. 4 plus 8 is 12, 24, 24 plus 13 is 37. Superb, guys, superb Sudoku, really superb construction. Look how beautifully the Sudoku is constructed. So we saw what were the minimum possible values here, and we are getting the total, so which means that this has to be a 4 and 8, because 1 2 and 3 are ruled out, so the minimum value it can take is 4 in one of the circles, and 5 is ruled out from middle box, can't be on the line, so the minimum value is 6 and 7, and to enclose them you need to have an 8, so 6 7 6 7, so this will be a 4 8 pair. Okay, so we have deduced the digits along this line. Okay, now 6 is ruled out from here quickly, because if you have a 6 here, these two cells are either 1 plus 5 or 2 plus 4, but both are ruled out, right? You can't have a 1 5 here or a 2 4 here, so both are ruled out, so this will be a 6, this will be a 2. Okay. So which means these two cells must sum up to 10 for the 12. So they cannot be 1 and 9 and 2 and 8. So they can only be 3, 7, 3, 7 or 4, 6 and 4, 6. Okay. So if you look at row 4, where can the 2 be placed? I think we can look for the 2's now. So if you look at row 4, 2 cannot be in these cells, 2 cannot be here, and 2 cannot be in this cell. So which means that 2 would have to be either in this cell or this cell, right? But this is also ruled out using the disjoint property. This cell cannot be the same as this one. So 2 is ruled out from here. So which means that 2 must be in one of these two cells, right? So which means that to enclose the 2 in between, 1 must be in one of these two cells. Okay, you can eliminate 2 from here as well, right? Because corresponding cell has already a 2, so 2 is eliminated from here and you get the 2 here. Beautiful. So which means using classic rule, you get the 2 in middle box. Okay, this can be a 6, right? Because 2 we have placed, and to enclose them, this would have to be a 6. And there is a 2 in one of these two cells, which means, okay, using classic rule, you can place the 2 in these two cells. Okay, there is a 2 here, which means this is not a 2, so this would have to be a 2. Corresponding cell can't contain a 2, right? So this would have to be a 2. And using classic rule, 2 must be in one of these two cells. Again, using classic rule, 2 must be in one of these two cells. This 2 eliminates this 2, so this would have to be a 2. And we get the 2 here now. So we have placed all the 2's now. Good. So I'm just thinking where to continue the Sudoku now. It seems to have come to a standstill. So if you look at this line, so the minimum possible values in these two cells must be 3 and 5, right? You can't have 3 and 4 because then both of these digits will be ruled out. So you will have at least a 5 in this line. So which means that both of these digits must be 6 or above, because if you have a 5, then you can never satisfy digits along this line. So both of these values will be 6 or above. So we may write them. So 6, 7 and 9 and 6, 7 and 9, because 8 is ruled out due to classic. Okay. That is also not really helping us now. Okay. Look at these corresponding cells, guys. I'll highlight and show you. So this cell, this cell, this cell, this cell, the corresponding cells of all those cells. So if you look at those 9 cells, they would have to contain 1 to 9, right, as per rules. So they have 2, 3, 4, 6, 8. So the remaining digits are 1, 5, 7 and 9. And these 3 cells can't contain a 5 due to classic. So there is only one option left for the 5. So which means that this cell would have to be a 5. Superb. So the remaining digits along those cells must be 1, 7 and 9. So because they must contain 1 to 9. We can remove the highlight now. So along this 25 glue we have 3 digits now. 4 plus 5 is 9. So the remaining 2 cells must add up to 16. So which means that they would have to be, both of those would have to be a minimum of 7. Because if you have 6 or less, you can't satisfy the total. So this cannot be a 9. And this cannot be 8. So these 2 cells must add up to 16. And you can't have 8 here, right? Because if you have an 8 here, then you also need to have 8 here for the 16 total. So this would have to be a 7 and this would have to be a 9. Superb. So which means that this 7 resolves the 6-7 pair. So this is 6, this is 7. And this 6 removes the 6 from here and 6 from here, and this 7 removes the 7 from here, and the, okay, 7 can be here. Oh, 9 is here, right? So 9 can be removed from here. So this is 1 or 7. This is interesting, guys. Okay. So 5 cannot be in this column and 5 cannot be in row 5. So which means that 5 would have to be in one of these two cells and 5 would have to be in one of these two cells. Can 5 be eliminated from one of these cells? Yes, because row 9 column 5, the corresponding cell of that in box 6 is this cell. So this cannot contain the same digit. So this would have to be a 5. Which means this is a 5 and this is a 1. Both of these are quickly resolved. And which means that the corresponding cell here can't be 5. So this is 1 and this is 5. And the 1 here gives us a 7 here, and this would have to be a 1. We know that for the 2, 1 has to be in the circle, so this would have to be a 1. Superb, guys. We are getting a flurry of digits now. So both of these digits are 1, which means this would have to be a 1. Classic rule. And 1 cannot be on the line, so using classic rule again, 1 has to be here because of these two ones. Okay, I think we can try to place these digits now. We know that they must be strictly between 1 and 7. So the only possible values are 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2 and 6 are ruled out. So both of these cells must be 3, 4 and 5. Only possible options. Okay, 5 is here, so 5 is ruled out. 3 is here, 3 is ruled out. So you have a 3, 4 pair in row 4. Which means this cell can't be a 4. This would have to be a 5. And using classic rule, 5 goes here. So all the 5s have been placed, right? In box 7 we can place the 5. So this would be a 5. Okay, so in row 4, 2, 5, 6, 7, 3 and 4. Remaining digits are 1, 8 and 9. So we can write the digits 1, 8 and 9. So let us look at this box. It has 5 digits already. 2, 3, 5, 6 and 7. So remaining candidates are 1, 4, 8 and 9. But you can't have 1 and 9 in this cell. So this is 4, 8. And these two cells will be 1, 4, 8, 9. But 1 is ruled out from here. So this is 4, 8 and 9. Okay. We have a 4, 8 pair in column 4. So this is not an 8. And this also can be removed as an 8, right? So let us look at the possibilities now. So if you look at these cells 1, 2, 5, 6 and 7 and 9. So remaining candidates are in this cell, or 3, 4 and 8. So we can place them 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 9. So 3, 4, 8. Tough one, guys. Really narrow Sudoku. No doubt it has less number of finishes. Now I can understand why. It's a very tough Sudoku. Okay, 7 can be removed from here using classic rule. So 7 cannot be here. So we can write the other candidates along that column. 1, 5, 7, 9, 2 and 8. So 3, 4 and 6 are the other candidates. Okay. Okay, I was trying to see the disjoint property when I noticed this. It's a really sharp reduction, guys. So you have to make sure that you switch between all the variants so that we don't leave any stone unturned. So if you look at all these corresponding cells in other boxes, if I highlight it should be clear. So all these cells must contain 1 to 9, right? So they have 2, 5, 6, 1, 7, 9 among them and a 3, 4 pair here. So which means that this cell has to be 8. A tough one to see, but maybe there are other continuations in the grid as well, but I wasn't able to see those. So you get an 8 here. So which means that this 11 can't be 3 plus 8 anymore. So this is 4 plus 7. So this cell along column 5, because of the line, has to be between 1 and 7. So it can only be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2, 5, 6 are quickly ruled out. So this is 3 or 4. And the moment you do that, there is a 3, 4 pair in column 5, right? So this is not a 4. So this is 8 and 9. And this would have to be 8 and 9. Okay, there is 7 in box 2, which means 7 must go into one of these two cells for row 3. Okay, for this 12 total, you have 3, 4, 6 here. So corresponding these values must be 7, 6 or 4 because they add up to 10, right? So they must be 7, 6 or 4. Okay, we can remove the 7 from here because 4, 7 pair. So 7 is removed from here, and we can also remove the 1 from here, right? Because if you have a 1 here, then both of these circles can't contain a 1, and we know that one of them has to be a 1 because of the 2. So this is a 9, which means both of these cells will be a 1, 7 pair. Okay, let's look at column 4. 2, 3, 5, 4 and 8. So 1, 6, 7, 9. So 1 and 7 can't be here. So this is 6 and 9. And this will be 1, 6, 7 and 9. I have a feeling that we can do more with the ones, but I'm not really sure how exactly. Okay, using classic rule, 6 can't go here. So 6 will be in one of these two cells, which means we get the 6 in box 4. So the remaining candidates here are 1, 3, 6, and this would be a 1 and 3. Okay, the 1 here removes the 1 from here. So this is a 3 and 6. And now we have a 3, 4, 6, 7 quadruple in row 8. So which means that 8 and 9 would have to be here. So this is 8 and 9. Okay, so the next part. Okay, let us look at this cell because row 5 is almost filled. So this would have to be a 3, 4 or 8. Right, so which means we get the 6 in box 6. Okay, that removes the 6 from here and correspondingly the 4 from here. Okay, that's interesting. Okay, using classic rule, 7 must be in one of these two cells. Okay, there is a 9 here, right? Which means that the 9 is removed from here. 1 and 8. This must be 1 and 8. The tough thing about the Sudoku is that because of 3 different variants and the author has made sure to use all the variants equally well, it's really difficult to see which thing is going to help you continue. You have to keep on looking for, you know, different ways to solve the Sudoku. So I was hoping that this 12 clue gets resolved quickly because we will be getting a lot of digits. For example, if this is a 4, we may get a lot of digits here, but it is not getting resolved easily. Okay, so 8 cannot be in this row and 8 cannot be in column 2, which means that 8 must be in one of these two cells. And do we have an 8 in any of those corresponding cells? No. So we have an 8 in one of these cells, which means this is not an 8. And we have a 1, 9 pair, so this is 8. And this is going to be for the column, can't be 1, 2, 6, 5, 8, 9. So this is going to be 3, 4 or 7. Right, so this can only be 3, 4 or 7. Oh, okay, superb. So these two cells, I don't know why they have been highlighted in green, I can't even remember now. So let me remove those. So these two cells will have different digits, right? So if this is a 3, this is a 4, and if this is a 4, this is a 3 due to the disjoint property. So which means that this cell, which is able to see both of those cells, can't have a 3. So this will be a 6. Wow, tough one, guys. So this is not a 6, so this is 1 3. So we have a 1 3 pair. Can we proceed with the sixes? Sixes should help us, I hope. Okay, there is only a 3 4 pair. So this is 1 7 and 9. Okay, let us look at column 2 maybe. 1, 2, 5, 6 and 8. So remaining candidates are 3, 4, 7 and 9. So let me write them. So if I look at the corresponding cells in other boxes, they can be anything of 3, 4, 7 and 9. So this is not useful at all. So in column 2, 9 must be in one of these two cells, right? So can I look for the 9 in the corresponding cells? Okay, again it is not helpful. So let us look at the clues one by one. This is resolved completely. So this can be resolved. 4 and 8 are yet to be resolved. I don't see any way to resolve them yet. Okay, superb, guys. So 4 is in one of these two cells, right? Which means the corresponding cell in this box cannot contain a 4. Tough one, guys, very tough one. So because if this is a 4, then both of these cells right will have a 4 in them, and the corresponding cell has a 4, which is a violation as per rule. So this is a 7, which means this is a 4. What a tough deduction, guys. So which means we can resolve the 3 4 pairs now. So this is a 3, this is a 4, that gives 8 here, a 3 here. This is a 4 now, this is 8, and this 8 gives a 9 here, which in turn gives us an 8 here, and this gives us becomes a 9, and because of this 9 you get a 1 here. This becomes a 9, and this cell has to be a 4 now. This can't be a 9. This is the 1 and 7. Okay, the 7 here gives us a 4 in row 8, which means correspondingly this cell becomes 3, this becomes 4, and this becomes 3, and these two cells must be 7 and 9 because they can't be 3 4, right? 3 and 4 are in that column already, so there will be 7 9. So a 1 here removes the 1 from this cell, so this is a 7, which means this is a 1 and this would be a 7, and now this 1 3 pair can be quickly resolved because 1 can't be here. So this is a 3, this is a 1, and for the column 1, so this would have to be a 4, and these two cells must be 3 8, right, for the column, but you have a 3 here, so which means this is 8, this is 3, the 8 here gives a 4 here. We are quickly running through the Sudoku, guys. 1 and 7, so this must be a 6 9, 2 3 4 8 5 and 7. So remaining candidates in box 8 are 1 6 9, but 1 and 9 are ruled out from. So this is a 6, so this would have to be a 9, this would have to be a 1. The 3 here gives a 6 here, this will be a 3 now because 4 and 6, so this is a 3, and these two cells must be 7 8, so this is 8, this is 7, and 7 is in one of these cells, so 7 is going here. And for the column 9, the only possible cell 4, and these two cells must be 3 6, but I think we can use the disjoint rule now. So you have the 3 here. If you have the 3 here, then this cell, both of these corresponding cells contain 3, so this can't be a 3, so this would have to be a 6, this would have to be a 3, this has to be 8 for the row, and these two cells are 6 9 now. You have a 6 here, so this is a 9, this is a 6, this 7 resolves the 7 9 pair. And with that, we have completed this tremendous construction by Tenaliraman, an amazing creation. It used all the variants equally well, which is very difficult to create, I would say. So it is a tough Sudoku, guys. There is no doubt about it, and it's not surprising because I doubted it that it would be very tough because of the less number of finishes. Hope you guys enjoyed watching me solve this Sudoku. If you have found any better steps in the solve that help your solve make considerably easier, please comment under the video. We'll be really happy to hear that from you, and it would help us improve ourselves as well. So hope to see you all soon with the video. Take care until then. Bye bye.